welcome in the victorious Jared Cannonier, victorious in our main event tonight. And congratulations to you, sir. You know, a lot of people were, wondering how you would fare in this one against another young up-and-comer, another challenger really trying to bite at your number. How good do you feel about this victory in your own performance? I
felt good about my performance. The first round was kind of rocky, to say the least. I can see my face now, see how rocky it really was. But, it's the name of the game. I've come to the conclusion that it's going to be hard and that you're going to take some shots. Early on in my career, it was always I want it to be as easy as possible. I want to go in there and hit my opponent and, cash 2 checks, easy, go and not limp off into the sunset. But here I am with a swollen eye and a mild limp and a sore arm, but a victorious, and it's definitely worth every bit of it. So I'm happy with my performance again. I'm happy with the adjustments that I was able to make in that fight, and I'm definitely happy to get the victory.
The thought process kind of was that the later rounds would favor you. Did you feel that way, and was that a plan to try to take him deeper?
No, I wanted to knock him out in the first round. I wanted to hit this man and not take any shots and, and not limp off into the sunset, right? But again, I've already made up my mind that it's going to be hard, especially when you get a number in front of your name and everybody's chomping at the bit to get at you and get your place and do all that stuff. So I guess I'm used to it. But third time's a charm, though. The first 2 times it didn't go too well against this young up-and-comer, but yeah, I got it done this time.
So Jared, in this fight, I wanted to ask you, I want to pick your brain about this game plan of yours, what your game plan was headed into this fight, because usually in your fights we see a lot more kicks, we see a lot more movement, a lot more stance changes, and not as much wrestling. So talk me through the game plan when you were breaking this fight down.
Well, the game plan was to use movement, not stand in front of the man and take the shots and, be hard to track, be hard to find, and still get my offense off, not just moving around and not getting the offense off. So I think the first round I was moving around but not using much offense, and more offense in the second, more offense in the third, and then, the fourth didn't take much offense, just enough. So the game plan was to not stand in front of him, walk him into shots. He goes forward. He puts pressure on his opponents, especially after he's hurt. So be patient, be smart, hit, don't get hit. Stay on my not on the bicycle, but stay in my legs, stay on my toes, stay moving, keep my head moving. Don't stand down the line.
Now I want to ask you too. You're a veteran of the sport. You've been around the block. You've had title fights. You've been in 8 main events now. What is your mentality that keeps you evolving? 7, sorry, my bad. What is your mentality that keeps you evolving? You seem like you're such a student of the game. What is it that keeps you evolving in this sport and keeps you so hungry?
Well, as a student in the game, one should always be improving. So it's not evolution that you see, it's just improvement. Day after day, the gym moniker at the MMA lab is 1% better. So there's 365 days in a year, that's 360%. I've been at the MMA lab for 7 years. You do the math, right? So, I can feel it. Especially this camp, I've made so many improvements, mentally especially, thanks to my teammates, the big boys at the MMA lab. Alec especially really had some good words for me that really affected how I was approaching camp, how I performed in this fight as well. Again, that conclusion that I came to, that it's going to be hard, that I'm going to get hit, took away the inhibition to go forward a little bit, especially in the second, third, and fourth round.
I've said it for, over here on the desk that I've been kind of a fan of yours since we actually fought together a while back in
Canada.
Was that Canada or Chile? Chile.
Oh, it was
in
Chile.
In Chile, yeah. But over here, down over here on this desk, he who shall not be named, there's some guys who feel like, oh, you old, you up there in age, that you ain't gonna be able to do some things. Not naming no names up here, but you were able to go in there and still get the job done. One of the big factors was how you were gonna deal with the power of Gregory Rodrigues. So how was that in there, feeling the power, and just to stay mentally composed and still be able to get the win?
His power is effective. He flashed me, rocked me, put me on my butt once or twice, and Yeah, but it didn't shut the lights off. So it wasn't enough to shut the lights off. I was able to to bounce back, recover, and be smart. Mixed martial arts. Again, it's gonna happen. It's gonna get hit, and when you get hit by a guy like that, you're lucky if you're able to maintain consciousness. So, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be hard. When you got a guy like that with power, I was really focusing on trying to be faster than him, so I didn't have to feel that power, and I let the first round get away from me.
Okay, now, and like we mentioned, in the last couple of fights, you've been the guy taking on the new guys coming in, the guys below you trying to get up or above you. Now, when we look at the rankings here, I believe you sit at if we could look at the rankings, you sit at number 7 coming in. Looking at those guys above you, what would you like next? Who would you like?
The next guy above me, and whoever's above me. But to be honest, the chances are, with looking at the guys above me, the chances are me getting one of those matchups, it's kind of hard. Maybe a Robert Whittaker matchup, Kyle Bahayo I just fought. I think the Robert Whittaker one would be as far as guys ahead of me, would be more likely to happen, that a matchup that the UFC would make. Being realistic with myself. What would I like? Shoot, man. The champ. But wishful thinking. But realistically, if I can just get a ranked opponent, preferably one ahead of me, you know what I mean? Because it's always trying to go forward, but a ranked opponent for sure.
Well, give me some, my brother. Like, don't even listen to that was old stuff we talked about, so I'm proud of that old stuff. Yeah. But the reality is, like, you've been around a long time. You've been doing this game for a minute now. And you talked about your improvements. But what are you learning, especially in a fight like tonight? What did you learn about yourself tonight?
What did I learn about myself tonight? I can't really say I learned something about myself. I think I really more so expressed something about myself. The ability that I have to weather storms. I mean, I think I've already proven that by taking shots and coming out victorious in other fights. But for myself, I was able to. What did I prove to myself? That I can lean on my skills. My athleticism is still a factor. People say that I'm old, but I'm still athletic. I'm still fast. I'm still strong, and the gray hairs in my head means I'm getting smarter, and I'm applying those gray hairs to this sport of martial arts. So I'm a much more intelligent fighter, making less mistakes. I feel like I made fewer mistakes in this fight outside of the first round, but just constantly trying to improve. That's all I can do at this level. Especially, Coach Crouch says it all the time, that when you get to the top, when you become one of the best in the world, improvements are marginal at best. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're incremental. So you're not going to see vast improvements when you get at the level that we're at. So every little bit counts. 1%, even a 0.5%. But it's 1% at the gym.
Well, one thing you said in one of the pieces we ran yesterday was that martial arts was its own reward and everything. The knowledge you've gained, the wisdom you've gained is better than any prize. But I will say, Jared, you are getting $50,000 tonight. It is your third bonus in 4 fights. You guys picked up Fight of the Night tonight, so
all
congratulations to you.
Cha-ching.
And yeah, really, really great. Thank you so much for joining us. We know that you've got to get to some other press obligations, but really, again, to see you doing this at your age after all these years, 3 different knockouts in 3 different weight classes, like, you've really shown the young fighters how to comport themselves through their career, and it's really just great to see you still doing it.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate that.